I'm in the wild outback jungle of suburban Christchurch, and I've come to visit the home and headquarters of Kiwi DIY record label Shelby Wright Records and its owner and operator Jody Lloyd, also known as Trillian.
My name's Jody Lloyd and I'm a jack of all trades. I do music under the name Trillian. Also used to be in a rap duo called Dark Tower, and I run Shelby Wright Records and do everything from design to music production. I first got into it because I was a rapper, or wanted to be a rapper. Dark Tower began in Christchurch in 1995. We were the pioneers of a real New Zealand style and sound. We used our own accents, and then 1998 is when Universal signed me and my projects.
I was a little cracker with my Cracker Jack boots. Some would say a hippie kid cause my dad didn't wear suits. I used to pick blackberries with my mum, catch cocker bullies in the creek and cook them in the sun, run my
Universal decided that we needed to release a couple of singles to, test the marketplace. And the first one was The New Outlook, which was a collaboration with Dave Dobbin. We wrote a letter to Dave Dobbin to see if he'd want to do this song. He was really keen, and we sort of just made it happen.
Otherwise, just over the top. Bling chicks, flash wine and fly chicks. Gucci, Rolex and gold bricks. Matthew 1626. Kick a rhyme to put a verse in the mix.
Just sort of fell between the cracks of alternative and commercial, and that's a really big crack, we found out. So then they released a Dark Tower album called Canterbury Drafts, which had the song Baggy Trousers on it.
I just want to apologise to Eli's mum and Jamie's mum. I'm so sorry.
I like my pants baggy.
We didn't have any role models with this New Zealand accent style. It was new ground. We were actually doing something that hadn't been done before. I think that's why we still get a bit of respect. We thought that it was going to be a bigger success than what it was. Over all these steps in my musical career, everything that have been like an almost success has turned out to be a major failure. So I'm quite used to disappointment. The main objective now is not to shift units, it's just to make good stuff and enjoy doing it, enjoy the process. So because I don't really make a lot of money, I'm using the studio at my mum's place. I also live here too. This is the space where I spend most of my time. It's got a bit of a history, this little room. My dad used to be a leather worker, and this was his workshop. When I was a kid, I was out here banging away with bits of leather, and now I'm back in it, doing what I do.
Jody, tell me a bit about your setup.
Well, I have two computers. One is purely for music, and the other one I use for the internet, for the design stuff.
Because that's part of what you do here, is production of the music and then the packaging and the design, right?
Yeah, it's a small space, but you don't need a big space for an idea.
So how do you go about the actual recording of the music? I mean, you've got a bank of keyboards over here, and you've got obviously a turntable sample and so on, but what about other instrumentation and things like that?
Over here, it's got this little booth. Pretty much if you can fit in here with an instrument. We've had a guy with a saxophone, guitar.
Yeah.
I used to have a whole bunch of knitted toys on the walls as sort of sound baffling. The knitted toys started, well, there was just one in the beginning. I sort of felt sorry for it because it looked like an ugly person that I knew. Then there was another one, and then people got to know that I was collecting them. And then I was inundated. There's over 1,000 toys there. This one's pretty cool. Mairead, Tom, Verity, Louis, Amy, Bonzo. And if each one took 10, 20 hours, what's that? 20,000 hours. Even at $5 an hour, 20,000, that's $100,000 worth of time. It's got to be worth more than $5,000, I reckon. At least $50,000 there, eh? They got too many, really, so I decided to make it look slightly more professional and get an old sleeping bag.
Can you hear yourself?
Oh no, I can. That's got me worried. It's for real.
All right, I'm recording, so whenever you're ready.
Welcome to The Gravy. In this episode, we're going down south to check out producer, musician, mixed do-it-all himself from the backyard, Mr. Jody Lloyd, as well as a few yet-to-be-confirmed other items. Da-da-da-da-da.
She'll Be Right Records began in about 1997. After the whole Universal thing dissolved, I went out there and did it myself. The new birth of She'll Be Right happened in 2001, where I sort of started from scratch again. Obviously it was to release my own product, and then once the avenues were learned and in place, it's easy just to send some more people up the road. There's about 20 acts involved now. The motive isn't to sort of make money and exploit lots of people, but more to encourage and advance and evolve people as musicians and friends, really. And it's sort of become a sort of a family and collective rather than a typical record label.
I saw on the news recently there's something you did about a Sir Ed tribute.
Well, you can bank on this one being a hit, a tuneful tribute to our humble mountain man, Sir Edmund Hillary.
You'll never be forgotten in the bottom of my pocket.
It's catchy, yet the message is simple. Sir Edmund may be gone, but he'll live on in our wallet.
A practical chap, he was quite unique. In 53 he climbed the world's highest peak.
The challenge really was to make a tribute song that actually meant something about what us as New Zealanders can take from Ed Hillary's life and apply it to our own. There's the obvious things, climbing mountains and achieving great things. Other things that Ed stood for and taught was that it's not the mountain that you conquer, it's yourself. Once you conquer yourself, you can conquer like anything. I think once you've conquered failure, then it's easy to conquer success.
So there you have it. If you want to start your own record label, all you need to do, find yourself a garden shed, fill it with recording gear, maybe some childhood memorabilia, set aside 15 years of your life and be prepared to just work, work, work.